going to be trying a new paint, which I'm excited about, and I'm going to be using it on this jewelry box here. So let me tell you about the paint that I'm going to try, and we'll get right into it. So the first thing I want to make sure that I say is that I am not sponsored. This video is not sponsored. I'm not associated with the paint brand or anything like that. The paint is called DIY Cottage Color. This paint is for artisan furniture, and it's a one-step paint, which is why I really wanted to try it. It has a top coat built into it, and so that's the biggest reason why I had to order it and give it a try. This is from Jamie Ray Vintage, and they have a YouTube channel, and I watched a couple of their videos, and that's where I learned about this, and that's why I ordered it. I went to their website and just ordered it because I wanted to give it a try. So like I said, I'm not sponsored, or I don't even know them. I just saw the paint, I saw it on their video, and so I'm just anxious to give it a try and see how well it works, because if it saves you time and it looks really good and works well, I love that because I do vintage markets. This is the paint, the DIY Cottage Color, the white linen, and what I'm going to try the paint on is this jewelry box that I got. What really caught my eye with this jewelry box is the pretty green velvet that's inside of it. So I will take you in and show you just a little bit close up of this jewelry box. Picked this up at the thrift store recently, and I've gotten smaller ones that I've done, but this one is probably the biggest jewelry box that I have ever worked on. I'm going to remove the glass in the doors just to make it easier to paint around, and then I'm not taking off the hardware because I will just paint right over the hardware, and then I will sand back some of the finish. There are things in our lives that can help us accomplish jobs faster and more efficient, and they're good, like this paint. And then there's those things in our life that just require a lot of hard work, and there's really no way around it. I found in those moments that that's when I see God's hand the most, when I give it to Him and just trust Him to give me the strength. Okay, let's open this up and give it a little stir. I can see there's a little separation of something that's on the top here that I need to stir in. That must be the top coat. Okay, I've got the glass panes taken out, and then I have also put some blue tape, some painter's tape in here, just along the edges so that I don't get any of it on the velvet that's lining the inside and the drawers. And I put some in there too. So I'm gonna get started. I'm also going to do the back side of this because if someone wants to set this on their dresser and they have a mirror, you know, on the dresser, I want this to look nice from the back as well. I used a small brush to work the details around the doors, and also so I didn't get any paint on the velvet. I used to think that I had to work so hard to have any faith, and I always wondered why my faith wasn't big enough. When I started to really dig into the Bible and seek some answers, I read Hebrews 11:1 with a whole new light. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." So if faith is a substance, that can be measured. And evidence is proof. Proof of what? Well, it's proof of what I believe for, what I hope for. Okay, so I have let this dry overnight, and I gave it 3 coats of paint. So this is after 3 coats of paint. What I notice about it right away is that it's got a satin sheen to it. It's very different than chalk paint. It's not like chalk paint at all. And I don't feel like I need to sand it. yet. I do want to do a little distressing on it, but I don't need to sand it in between coats like you normally would with chalk paint. And I really like that because chalk paint can create a lot of mess when you're always sanding in between the coats. But I do want it to have a little bit more coverage. So I'm going to give it one more coat and let that dry. The Bible says that to each believer has been given a measure or the measure of faith. So if I stand on what I'm hoping for or believing in according to the will of God, then I know that I will see it. That's the evidence. That's the substance. So no matter what the circumstances look like or what the world says or what lies try to come against it, I am going to stand firm, and I hope that encourages you to do the same. This painter's tape works really great to clean up the velvet that's inside the jewelry box. I use it a lot when I'm working on something like this. I did some light sanding on the high points and the hardware to give it that aged look. So what do you think of how this jewelry box turned out? I'm really happy with it. I think it's cute. To me, it looks like a vintage hutch. I love how the inside is the green velvet. That's my favorite part about it. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I think it'll be perfect at my spring market, which is right before Valentine's Day, and it might be just the perfect gift for someone who loves jewelry. As far as the paint goes, I really like how this paint worked on here. I'm really happy with how the paint looks, how easy it was to apply. I like that it has low odor, and it wasn't, it wasn't really stinky. I didn't have to sand in between the coats of paint that I applied. I did apply 4 coats of this paint. This was a really dark finish, as you saw from the start. I didn't have any bleed through either, which is a huge plus. So I'm happy I didn't have any bleed through on it. And I would definitely use this again, and it comes in 16 ounces or 2 cups, and I'm excited to be using this in future thrift store finds that I have, because this little bit will go a long way. Now if I was going to do furniture, it would get used up pretty quick, so I would definitely need more of it, so I would recommend it. And like I said, I do not know anything about the makers of this paint other than what I've seen on their YouTube videos. I'm not affiliated with them or sponsored in any way. I just wanted to give it a try, and I'm happy I did, and I plan on using it more in the future. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some good inspiration or ideas on maybe you have an old vintage jewelry box that you can give a new look to. It's always fun to paint them and give them a new look and embellish them if you want. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.